Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight is the first meeting of the year for the leaders of the All Progressives Congress, with President Muhammadu Buhari holding at the Villa. 48 hours after the Bayelsa rerun governorship elections, APC candidate Timmy Sylva condemns the conduct of the supplementary polls, vows to seek redress in court. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC chairman, visits Channels Television, promises to escalate the fight against corruption. And thousands of starving Syrians in the besieged town of Malaya get much-needed food relief from the United Nations.
And on business news tonight, Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index loses 233.3 billion naira on the first trading day of the week as sell-offs continue to drive market sentiment lower.
And on sports news, Barcelona striker Lionel Messi displaces closest rival Cristiano Ronaldo to win a record 5th Ballon d'Or award.
From Abuja, I'm Gloria Umezuke. And some good news for Nigerians as the Central Bank of Nigeria lifts ban on restrictions on foreign currency deposits in local commercial banks.
We begin tonight with a crucial meeting of the leadership of the All Progressives Congress and the President Muhammadu Buhari. This meeting, which is the first since the beginning of the new year, has lasted for over 2 hours, and journalists are not allowed to cover the proceedings there. The national chairman of the party, Chief John Oyego, led 14 others to the meeting with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja. A source told Channels Television that the meeting is convened to trash out internal issues, from disputes among members to the progress made by the federal government in executing the party's campaign promises. There are feelers also that the national issues, including security, are being discussed at the meeting. Well, some of those in attendance are the party's Deputy National Chairman, Lawal Shoaib, Zonal Vice Chairman, Segun Oni, and the National Legal Advisor of the APC, Muiz Banire. Some presidential aides, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, are also in attendance. The meeting is also expected to take a position on the just concluded Bayelsa state governorship elections. In the meantime, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the Bayelsa supplementary election, Timmy Sylva, has described the recently concluded elections as a conspiracy against democracy. In an interview with Channels Television in Yenagoa, Mr. Sylva accused INEC of conspiring with the PDP-led government in the state to rig the election. He also says that he will explore all legal avenues to protest the results of the election.
I've always raised this complaint that the INEC in Bayelsa was set up as part of the PDP rigging machine. And as an APC candidate, we were contesting in that PDP rigging machine. What did you expect? But of course, at that point, you keep saying it, nobody wanted to listen to you, so you just kept going on. But today they've proved themselves. If you look at the whole process from the beginning, they set us up. The ad hoc staff were appointed from the state university, most of them, and of course they were changed with impunity. In fact, the last set of SPOs that went for the elections were changed on the morning of the election. Why? Because they were to serve a particular purpose. So of course, if you ask me about my feelings about the outcome, I feel very sad that in this day and age, this is what we get in Bayelsa. I always say this: if you lose in a free and fair process, then you feel somehow good about it. But when you know that somebody was trying to rig from the very beginning a process that you think you were trying to correct, then you feel very, very bad about it.
And barely 48 hours after the Independent National Electoral Commission announced the results of the Bayelsa supplementary elections, the chairman of the Transition Monitoring Group, Mr. Ibrahim Zikirullah, has discredited the results. Mr. Zikirullah says that observers' reports show significant level of ballot box snatching, violence and intimidation of voters during the polls. The Transition Monitoring Group also frowns at the conduct of some security officials during the electoral process.
PPA 185 votes. PPN 11 votes.
The result of the supplementary elections in Bayelsa has been declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. But the debates and criticisms are only beginning to unfold. Already, members of the Transition Monitoring Group, a local election observer group, is discrediting the results as announced by INEC. The chairman of the group says voters were intimidated and harassed during the elections in southern Ijaw.
Instances of snatching ballot boxes, damaging election materials, and stealing ballot papers prevented vote counting and the announcement of results from taking place at many of the polling units observed in southern Ijaw. TMG deems it that these incidents were of sufficient gravity to call into question the overall credibility of the election process and the legitimacy of the results declared.
He also queries the conduct of security officials during the polls, which he says made the elections fall short of global standard.
TMG expressed, in particular, his concern over the behavior of the two leading political parties, the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party, which mobilized militants to do their bidding. This resulted in violence, harassment, and intimidation of poll officials, voters, and observers. The fierce, undemocratic political competition and lax security deployment led to a volatile electoral environment.
INEC had last month ordered supplementary elections in southern Ijaw after it declared the Bayelsa governorship elections inconclusive. The supplementary polls held at the weekend.
In the meantime, national leaders of the People's Democratic Party have commended the people of Bayelsa State for standing against intimidation, rigging and violence to ensure their will as a people prevailed in Saturday's supplementary election. In a statement signed by its acting national chairman, Mr. Uche Secondas, the PDP praised the people's steadfastness and resilience, particularly in southern Ijaw. Mr. Secondas notes that the people have greatly contributed in deepening democracy in the country by taking their destiny in their own hands. The PDP also praised the people for being orderly and law-abiding even after the results were announced. The party has pledged to ensure Governor Sireke Dixon fulfills his campaign promises of socio-economic reforms. The Deputy Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Timmy, has warned that those who perpetrated violence in last Saturday's supplementary elections in Bayelsa State must face the wrath of the law. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the APC deputy spokesman says that the culprits who caused mayhem in the southern Ijaw area, the supplementary elections there, must be prosecuted irrespective of their political affiliation. Mr. Frank says that the Bayelsa polls is proof that the APC is not desperate to seize power at all costs, and that the Buhari administration is serious about fulfilling its promise to conducting credible elections in the country.
To ask Mr. President to please direct the police commissioner in Bayelsa, the Inspector General of Police, and other security agencies, to set up an investigating panel to know who are those behind this crisis that took so many lives in Bayelsa. It's important we know. At least it is very easy for us to now know because the police arrested some certain persons. They should question them, who are their sponsors? If their sponsors are within the APC, they should face the law. If their sponsors are within the PDP, they should face the law.
Moving on to other stories now. The fight against corruption in Nigeria may get tougher as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, says there is no giving up. Mr. Magu said this during his courtesy visit to the chairman of Channels Television in Lagos. In his first television interview since assuming office, Mr. Magu thanked the station for joining in the fight through its balanced news reporting. He called for more support stating that the anti-graft agency cannot assume the monopoly of knowledge in ridding the country of corruption.
It's his first time in Channels Television since taking over the mantle of leadership at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC chairman commends Channels Television for helping in the fights to rid the country of corruption through its balanced news reporting.
There are too much talk about the issue of corruption fighting back. You know, of course, corruption will fight back. You don't expect you don't expect to fight somebody all the time without him fighting back. But we are resolved. We are ready. We are determined to fight this fight to finish.
She also shed more light on the controversy over the rearrest of some individuals after they've been granted bail by the court.
No, there are a series of allegations. Like for instance, in the case of Nimasa, there was 2 billion initially when we took him to court. Then later on we realized that he has another matter that is happened out of the public fund, about 34 billion naira. So certain things has to be, there are reasons for doing what you did.
For the chairman and CEO of Channels Television, Mr. John Momo, the fight against corruption must be sincere if Nigeria must recover from its challenges.
The ongoings in the country now is a sad commentary. And it's a reminder of the cankerworm that corruption is. The country has been pillaged, it's been looted very badly. Just like Wole Soyinka said, corruption will fight back, and the battle is just started. So we can only pray that you're dogged, and I know that you would stick to it and you'll conquer.
The EFCC calls on all Nigerians to partner in the fight against corruption as it continues to beam its searchlight on culprits. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, there'll be more on the results and the outcome of the Bayelsa state elections. Reactions are already coming in. That's in a moment. Join us again.